So welcome everyone to today's Twitter space process to follow in trend following and trend riding. Today's speaker will be Sankalp sir. Very good evening, Sankalp sir. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation for the Twitter space.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you
Yes, sir.
for having me.
So as usual, generally in our Twitter space, we generally don't even give any kind of introduction. To be honest and to be frank, because we this session is all about learning. So straight away, the stage is all yours. You can start your sharing your knowledge and experience.
All right. So a warm welcome and a very good evening to all the listeners. Thank you for taking time out and investing your time in listening to what I'm going to share with you. One request: if you have the comfort of a laptop, it would be really nice if you can open any charting platform. It can be Zerodha, TradingView, whatever you're comfortable with. So whatever things I'm going to talk about is going to make more relevance to you if you have a live chart open in front of you.
Yes, this is one small request, and one more request from the traders who are part of the session is make sure to also have a notepad and pen with you. And as sir mentioned, make sure to open chart in front of you because even Itesh sir in this session, last session when we had did with Itesh sir, he was using the chart we have explained. It was a fantastic session
Hmm.
because it was more comfortable for the traders to understand. So I
Yeah,
request everyone to open a chart in front of you.
yeah, great.
Yes, sir.
So again, good evening, everyone. I am Sankalp Chaturvedi. I'm a full-time trader for the last 4 years, and before that, for the better part of my life, I was a banker. I was working for a government bank. I quit my job due to some reasons, and then I started full-time trading. So, whatever we are going to discuss, I'll ask you to keep adding some tools on your charts. Very simple, freely available tools. So we'll just try to understand, how can we, make the most out of what the price action is telling us. What do we mean by price action? Price action is nothing but the changes in, a stock's price on the chart, whatever chart you're following, whether it's a candlestick chart, whether it's a Heiken-Ashi chart, whether it's a line chart or bar chart. So whenever a trader sits in front of the screen, he has four important questions in front of him. I'll tell you the questions and then we'll address to those questions step by step. All right. So the first question is, the basic primary job of a trader is to figure out where is the price headed. Is it going up or is it going down? Because as a trader, I'm going to make money on this very basic information. I'll be taking my trades, positioning myself in the market based on this very basic understanding whether the price is expected to go up or go down. So that's the question number one. Then the second question is when to take the trade, right? If you have identified if the stock is in a bullish run or in a bearish run, fine. But when do we actually take the trade? That's the next question. The third question is when not to take the trade. All right. This is the most important thing, and this is where most of us fail. All right. And the fourth question is when to exit or how long to stay in the trend. I think if we answer these four questions properly, the objective of this space, would be fulfilled. Can we go ahead? I hope all of you have some charts, any charting software in front of you.
Yes, yes. Again, a request make sure to have a chart open in front of you so that you can understand whatever is being discussed today. Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir. Aram sir.
Sure, sure, sure. So, the first question to identify if the price is expected to go up or down. I have automated my price action, whatever my setup was. So we'll not get into that. We'll get into the manual study of what price is telling us. All right. So to in my, I shortlist four stocks for the day that I'll be trading in. So one of those stocks was Biocon. So please open the chart of Biocon. I'll give pauses of 20-30 seconds so that everyone has sufficient time. I call them SFTs, stocks for today. All right. So now on your screen, there would be a blank chart of Biocon, right? Price closed at 349 yesterday, and today it gapped up by 355, right? Now, please add RSI to your charts. It's a freely available tool, RSI, Relative Strength Index. Now, whatever I'm going to say, just note it down. It's going to be really helpful for you. Once we have RSI on the chart, write down 2-3 ranges. All right. Always remember that I will be bullish when RSI is above 55. All right. By bullish, by being bullish, what I mean is I expect the price to go up. All right. And whenever the RSI is below 45, I will have a bearish outlook, or I expect the prices to go down. Okay. The next indicator, I don't know what sort of charting background you guys have, so we'll stick to VWAP, which is the most commonly used thing. VWAP is nothing but volume weighted average price. Please add it to your terminal. Charting software, sorry. So now I'll explain why we're using these things. VWAP is nothing but the average price, volume weighted average price for the day. So it's going to be plotted by a line. If the price, the candle is above VWAP, it is expected to be bullish. And if there's a crossover, or if the price is trading below VWAP, it is expected to be bearish. All right. We will be using VWAP for trade execution. Now I'm coming to question number 1. To identify if the price is bullish or bearish, I need to answer that question first before thinking about taking a trade. If the RSI is above 55, that means I am bullish. All right. Now look at the candle at let's say 925. So the candle tells us that the price opened at 350. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart. I'm so sorry, I did not disclose this earlier. We'll be sticking to a 5-minute chart. So the candle tells us that the price opened for this 5-minute interval at 358, closed at 350. Made a high of 359 and closed at 359.40. Now this tells me two things. First of all, if I look at the RSI thing, RSI is at around 72. That means the price is expected to go up, and it is trading above the VWAP, which is represented by a blue line or whatever color on your chart. So I have two confirmation that tell me that the price is expected to go up. So one primary question why I'm in the market to understand where the price is headed is answered by these two things. All right. Now let's decide to take a trade based on these two confirmations that the price is expected to be bullish. And the second question that I asked, I shared when we were starting was when to take a trade. That condition is also getting satisfied here as the RSI is above 55. Now I request you to add just one final indicator to our charts. That is the ADX. I'm sure you must have heard of ADX. It's the average directional index. It'll have an ADX line, one green line representing the positive directional index, and one red line which will be representing a negative, the negative DI. All right. Now to my second question, when to take a trade, right? It must be pretty clear that the green line represents the bullish side of the trade, and the red line represents, I'm talking about the DI thing, directional index thing, that the green represents bullishness and the red one represents bearishness. All right. So my second question was when to take a trade. I answered this, by looking at the chart. I can see that the price is, above VWAP. The RSI is above 55, so it is bullish. It is going up. Now, I have to share one thing about myself. I am an options buyer. All right. I cannot sit in idle markets wherein the prices are not moving much. I need momentum and traction behind my trades. Then only I'm going to make money in option buying. Okay. So if you have added ADX, I hope by now you guys must have added ADX to your charts. ADX may just remember one thing. Whichever side you are playing on, right now we are playing the bullish side. So the positive DI, which is represented by a green line, should be about 25. Now, what does this 25 tell us? This 25 tells us that there is sufficient momentum behind this move. All right. For a trade to go to my target, like whenever I'm taking a trade, I need momentum, right? If there's no momentum, this price is going to stay there. I'll waste my whole day and I'll not come out with any money. So I need that strength. So this positive DI being above 25, just what I do is I plot a line on the ADX side and 25 पे उसको रखता हूँ. I need the positive DI or the negative DI, whichever side I'm trading, to be above 25, which ensures and tells me that there is sufficient strength in the trend and you can go ahead. All right. Now, when all three conditions are getting satisfied at the third candle, which is at 925, the price is bullish because RSI is above 55. ADX is around 45, which is more than comfortable for me because I need 25. Now I'm getting 45. So I have three confirmations to take that trade, right? Now, when we are at the juncture of deciding that all my conditions are satisfied, the last and the most important question, which is the fourth one, when to exit or how long to stay in the trend. Before taking a trade, we need to, I'm so sorry. Before taking a trade, I need to know, where am I, expecting the price to be at. The candle is giving us a close at 359.40. All right, that is my entry point. Now I need to understand where do I expect the price to go at. For that, just add normal pivots to your chart. That's the final tool I'll ask you to add. Won't be asking you to, add anything more to your setup. Just add normal pivots to your charts. You will have a pivot line R1, R2, R3, R4, whatever the charts allow.
Sankam sir, I think your voice is not audible.
Yeah, I was quiet.
Okay.
I was waiting for people to, add
Okay.
these
Okay.
things. So by now, we have RSI on the chart. We have VWAP. You can make use of any moving average that you're comfortable with. I don't know your, technical analysis background, so I've used the safest thing, that is the VWAP, which almost everyone understands. RSI, VWAP, ADX, and the last thing that we used is pivots, normal standard pivots. Now, if I plan to take an entry by the time this candle is getting closed at 925, I need to ask myself, okay, I am okay to go long. All conditions are being satisfied. But where do I expect price to go? It cannot be an open-ended price that I'll buy this trade. I'll buy Biocon at 359 and I'll expect this to become a rocket and go to 1000. That's not going to happen. Price moves under the boundaries of demand and supply. By demand and supply, what do we mean? Just remember one thumb rule. Anything that is above price, that is placed above price on the chart, will act as a resistance. All right. Price will, find it difficult to cross that level. And whatever is below price will act as a demand zone or a support zone, wherein whenever price is falling, it will tend to find, support there. It will settle there. There might be buying sometimes, coming on those levels. Now, since we are aiming at on the upside, we are more interested in things that can act as resistance. After taking a trade, my biggest main enemy in this trade would be anything that acts as a resistance and stops the price from going up. Okay. Now, the pivots are above price, so naturally they are going to act as resistance. There is R1, R2 at 364.30. There is R3 at 368.85. All right. So now I'm at this juncture wherein I'm looking at price. I have identified that it's in a bullish phase. I'm ready to take a trade. Now let me answer the fourth question. If I am willing to take a trade, let's say at the closing of this candle, which is at 359.50, how much am I expecting from this trade? And for this trade to go forward, how much am I willing to risk? Right? So I'm coming to risk to reward. Whenever you are taking a trade, your risk reward at least should be 1 is to 3. That means I am willing to risk 1 rupee for a gain of 3 rupee. All right. If you maintain a healthy risk to reward ratio, and if you ask this question every time you're taking a trade, trust me, you will be away from a lot of traps, a lot of bad trades that might result in, losses sometimes or exit at cost. So for me, 1, 2, 3 is not important. I know, entry is very simple. You look at any chart, you punch in your order, you will enter, right? The most important thing is risk to reward. What is the setup that I'm working in? All right. So if I'm looking at this candle at 925, I'm planning to take a long at 359.50. Let's take the worst price. In the middle of opening, closing was at 359.40. I'm still willing to take the trade at 359.50. So if my entry is at 359.50, I need to look at the resistances that are above price. So the first resistance is at R2 of the pivot, which is at 364.25. And the next resistance is at 368.80. So if I plan to take this trade, and given the structure of RSI and ADX, I can easily aim at R3, which is aimed at 368. All right, let's keep it at 368. And now the most important part of the trade, the SL. How much am I willing to, risk in this trade? Or a level at which, I will just exit this trade in loss. I will not, make it into a hope trade. And, that's the exit door for me for this trade. So on TradingView, if you use normal VWAP, you will get a band, VWAP band. On Zerodha, I'm not too sure if this trading, VWAP band is available or not. On TradingView, if you're using the VWAP, there will be 3 bands with the VWAP. There's going to be an upper band and a lower band. So now this lower band represents a zone which might provide support to the price. I just talked about demand and supply, resistance and support zones. So now for the targets, I'm worried about the resistance zones. And now when the price, if it corrects, I need to identify a zone which might provide some comfort or some cushion to the price to go back up. But if it breaches that zone, then I'm in a very bad situation wherein all supports have been broken and I'm just in a hope trade. Remember, we are in a long trade. We're trying to go long. So for stop loss, I am keeping the stop loss at this lower band, जो भी VWAP पे आ रहा है. It is at 356.15. Let's keep it at a round number 356. So if I calculate the dynamics of the trade, the different components of the trade, I'm going long at 359.5 for a target of 368, which is 8.5 rupees away. All right. And on the on the loss side, I'm willing to risk 3.5 rupees from my trade. So for a gain of 8.5 rupees, I'm willing to risk 3.5 rupees. That's the risk reward setup of this trade. I don't know calculation wise if it's exactly 1 is to 3 or somewhere close to 1 is to 3. This is the kind of setup you must be in if you are, taking trades in intraday, because, entry is extremely easy. but your targets both on the profit and loss side, make or break the game for everyone. If you are willing to, respect your stop losses, that sustains, that ensures that you will, survive longer in the markets. But if there's no SL, you know, it's all a hope game. So the fourth question was when to exit or how long to stay in the trend. How long to stay in the trade? I'll answer in a bit. Let's initiate this trade. Now we are initiating the trade at 359.5 with the aim to reach at 368, and in this process we are willing to risk 3.5 rupees. As we go along, you can see the RSI goes up and down, and I'll give you a pro tip. If your target is, let's say, 10, hypothetical example, if your target is 10 rupees, always aim, on the system, keep your target at 9.5. 0.5 ka there, keep an error margin, because sometimes prices go towards these historical levels, and they just reverse in the middle of nowhere. So just keep a cushion of 50 paisa. So if your target is 368, keep a target of 367.5. You don't have to be greedy about those last 0.5 paisa, but they can actually make or break the game for you. So moving ahead in the trade, we enter at 925 by the close of this candle at 359.50. We can see the prices going up, going down, and by 950 the price is at 362, and it is nearing the first resistance. Now I have to be a bit careful, because as you've just listened to, that anything that is above price will act as a resistance. So you can see there is sort of a spinning top or a doji forming around R2 at exactly 10:20 a.m. Why is it doing so? See, technical analysis and price action analysis believes in one thing, that price has a memory. Now, since price has a memory, this is how it has behaved in the past. So, when I say the price will act, differently around these zones, is because it has behaved like this in the past as well. So, when I see that price is close to the R2, which is at 364.25 at 10:20 a.m., it is finding hard. So this is a cautious zone for me. I need to be on my toes, and I need to see how price is behaving around this level. I can do two things here. Either I can just work for one target, right, which is 368, or I can divide my trade into two parts. Now this differentiates from person to person. Everyone has a different trading style, different trading psychology. So this might be different for others. This is how I do. I divide my trades into smaller targets, let's say T1, T2, T3. So these levels will always be resistance zones that I see on my charts, whatever things I'm using. So I plan my exits there, and I keep trailing my SLs. In this example, let's not complicate things. We just need to understand that when price is around a resistance zones, now this resistance zone doesn't necessarily have to be a pivot. It can even be a higher moving average, or any old supply level you might have plotted on the chart. Anything that is above price, it can be anything. It can be a pivot, Fibo level, a moving average, or a previous level that you have plotted, or a trend line, whatever you have plotted on your chart. We have to be careful around these zones, because the problem is we are expecting the price to go up, but this guy at R2 is there to reverse my trade. There is a strong possibility that the price, despite coming 4 5 rupees above my entry, might force the price to just reverse from here. Okay, I don't want that. So I have to be on my toes. But when you look at RSI and when you look at ADX, they are still comfortably above our minimum ranges. To be bullish, we want it to be above 55, and the ADX to be above 25. ADX is at, ADX is at this zone is around 40, and RSI is at 70. I was ready to be bullish even above 55, so I'm in a comfort zone. So most probably we are going to breach this level and go on to the next resistance, go on to challenge the next resistance. Okay, what happens during the day? By 10:35, the price makes a high of 368.60. We have kept a target of 368 that is getting achieved. Let's say we did not keep a target of 368, we kept a higher target of 373. As of now, for this study, a target is getting achieved. We are making good money. This thing, Biocan, has a very big lot size. If you're trading in derivatives, futures, or options, you will be rewarded really well. But let's say you're not a conservative trader like me who just wants fixed targets. You want to trail this trade, right? The first thing that you have to do, earlier when we initiated the trade at 925, the SL was at 356. All right. Once you keep breaching these resistance, tells me that you can comfortably keep the SL at 355, 358.35. So there's a cushion zone which is getting increased with each uptick in the stock. All right. Now we come to a zone. This is the dead zone. Nothing good happens between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. The stock mostly are in sort of a consolidation zone, and you can see price hovering around this range of 367 to 363. So 4 rupees range में पूरे दिन price घूमती रही. ठीक है? अब now we are discussing a probability of higher target. Let's say no one is as conservative as me. No one wants केवल 8 रुपए का profit. हमको तो ज़्यादा profit चाहिए दिन में. So let's aim at 373 or 377. Now the fourth question was when to exit or how long to stay in the trend. I have told you when to exit. Keep a fixed target. You will be sorted for the day. You will be sorted for the whole week. If you start taking your trades in this process of keeping fixed targets, in a way, you will be controlling that factor of greed and fear, which obviously is associated to trading. And that there's a very thin line on which we have to work, between fear and greed, and this then that comes with trading of making more and more in money. You will not become a millionaire in a day by taking a trade in Biocon Bank Nifty. It's a gradual process. It's a process which requires compounding. You make some money, you come, show up on the next day, show up with your discipline and process. You make some money that day or you lose some money that day, and in a way you keep compounding your gains, and that is how you increase your wealth or your capital, and that is how eventually you might get into a phase of being a millionaire, or making a good livelihood from trading. But you're not going to become a millionaire in a day. You might get a there's a fluke, if there's a fluke trade, like some news comes and the stock falls and you are in with heavy quantities. Trust me, I am speaking this out of experience. 1 out of 10 times will be the only probability when you will be making enormous amount of money on a day, on a single event. Otherwise, if you keep risking, 9 times out of 10 you're going to fail. Okay, so let's stick to a constructive approach which not only gives us some revenue daily but also ensures that we show up next day. If we blow everything on today, what will we trade with it on the next day? Chaliye, going ahead, let's say we are trading for 373 or 378. Now, how long to stay in the trend? You need to draw some boundaries. I told you we can keep trailing the SLs as per the lower band of this VWAP band. Excuse me. But we can see during the day it never came to those levels, and to the max it corrected to 363.20. If you are a futures trader or if you are a cash trader, this is not going to be a problem for you. You are above your buying price, which is 359.5. You're still making 4 rupees. But if you are an options trader, the moment positive DI at 1240 you can see is going below 25, which was my comfort zone to be in a long. That is the time I need to either exit the trade or start trailing my SLs aggressively, because now there's a higher chance that the trend might come to a halt or there might be a reversal in store. Both of the things are going to be detrimental to the success of the premium that I've paid, the call that I've bought. So the profitability of that trade might get questioned. So if you are an options trader, the moment you see the positive DI, since it's a bullish trade coming below 25, that's the time you should either, I would suggest, exit the trade, because the trend is dying. I'm an option buyer. Trend is my best friend. If there's no trend, I'm not going to make money. All right. So this is how I look at price action. This is how it's a simple thing that I follow. Just I ask these 4 questions while I'm taking a trade, and the moment I see the respective DI coming below my comfort zone, which is 25, that's the zone where I either exit or I start tailing my SLs aggressively. At this same zone, if you pay attention, at 12:35, RSI is also coming below 55. Now, this was also one of my comfort zones, which gave me confidence in the morning to take the trade. Now, this is also getting negated. So, the price action is giving you signs that, boss, your trade is in trouble now. The trend you were in, whatever gains you could make out of it, temporarily they are in danger, because all your confirmation points are getting questioned. I'll come to one question that I did not answer: when not to trade. That was a third question. Since we are on the verge of this particular phenomena on the chart, whenever RSI is between 55 and 45, that is a complete no trade zone. Anything can happen post this consolidation zone. Whatever is forcing price to be, for the RSI to be between 55 and 45. So always remember, whenever you're looking at a chart, ask yourself, where is RSI? Is it above 55? Okay, I am bullish. Is it below 45? Okay, I am bearish. But if it's between 55 and 45, that's a zone where I am not going to take a trade at all. That is a wait zone. Whenever there is a breakout or breakdown, then I'll decide. But the third question, it's the most important question. That's where people with FOMO or with just the urge to trade get into all sorts of stupid setups, and then they come out with losses, and then in turn curse the whole trading industry that no one makes money in trading. If you don't follow the basic setups or the basic rules to get into a trade, of course you're not going to make money. But if you follow these basic things, so between 55 to 45 is a no trade zone. The third question was when not to take the trade. So now RSI is coming below 55, and it is hovering, from 12:35 till 1:30. It stayed between that 55 and 45 zone, and you can see on the candlesticks, nothing actually happened on the chart. Even if you took a trade, it's not necessary that you would have made anything out of it. So this is what I had to share about the 4 questions that a trader must ask themselves while taking a trade. First of all, identify where the price is headed. That's our primary job as a trader, to understand where is the price headed. How will we know that? If the price is above 55, the RSI is above 55, that tells me that the price is in a bullish trend, and the ADX, the positive DI, has to be above 25. If it's a bearish setup, the RSI would be below 45 and the negative DI would be about 25. When to take the trade? When we have multiple confirmations, the price has to be above or below VWAP depending on the situation. Since we discussed a bullish setup here, the price had to be above VWAP. It had to leave the VWAP behind. It should not. The body should not be inside that line. It should be away from the VWAP line. All right. And one thing more that I want to share here: if you are an options buyer, see, I trade Nifty, I trade stock options. For Nifty, I live stream throughout the day. If you have seen my timeline today, I traded 2 strike prices in Nifty, which were 18050 and 1950. Now, people ask me what happened between this. There was another strike price 18,000. Why didn't you take that trade? When I trade ATM options means at the money options. The strike prices where therein a very lesser difference between the prices on spot. If you don't know options, it's going to sound the rocket science. If you are familiar a bit with options, you will understand it. So if the strike price, if there is no or very marginal difference between the strike price and the spot's price, the underlying price, that is the ATM option. Now I enter into an ATM option with a hope that I get a delta. Delta is per rupee movement in the option. So I enter into a trade with the hope that I'll get a delta of zero point 0.5. Now, this again, I'm speaking from experience. The moment the delta goes to 0.9, 0.95 for an option, like the option that I was trading in the morning, 18050, it reached a delta of zero point 0.9. And from there, the option stopped rewarding. You can keep saying that there's going to be vega, gamma, delta, all these effects. But practically, if your living depends on options trading, you will realize this, that the option is going to reward you only till a certain point. When the delta reaches 0.9, 0.95, the problem, a lot of problems start arising. First of all, the option stops moving sometimes, but if the flow of the price action on the underlying is so strong, nothing is going to stop the option. But these kind of trades, like I shorted Apollo Hospital, the options were multiplying every minute. I was short in Apollo Hospital in 2 strike prices, made decent money in Apollo Hospital, and the options were multiplying because the underlying instrument was supporting a lot. But that's not going to happen. I'm not going to get an Apollo Hospital sort of a trade every day. Apollo Hospital corrected 8% yesterday. If anyone has seen the chart yesterday, and if any of my stream members are here, we made good money yesterday, but we will not be getting that trade daily. So in general, what happens is when the option reaches a delta of 0.9, it's going to stop move. It's just going to stop moving. And the other problem that happens is people switch to different strike prices and a liquidity issue arises. You will see a lot of jobbing in the options that we are trading. Let's say when we entered into, let's say Biocon only. If Biocon was trending a lot and I went into the 360 call, and for some strange reason, if Biocon just blasts and becomes a social media rocket and breaks all records, there will come a point, the call that I bought, let's say for 10 rupees, and it reaches 15 rupees, then it will stop moving. If you see the best 5 prices, you will see that the seller would be at 16 and the buyer would be standing at 11. So whenever there is a difference between the buying and selling price, that is called as jobbing. And in jobbing, if you are in a trade, that's the worst trap for you, because the instrument that you took to take part in this trend has stopped moving because of the liquidity. Now it's not necessary where my trade will be triggered. It is very difficult to set a specific price of exit. So what I do is, in practice, this I'm speaking extra only for people who trade options, who are option buyers, that whenever the delta reaches 0.9, the data is freely available on all charting platforms. Sensible Pay, I think it's freely available. Just switch to the next liquid strike price. That's going to help you a lot. I guess system wise, these are the things that I follow. A trader has to ask these 4 questions to identify where the price is headed, when to take a trade, when not to take a trade, when to exit the trade, or if you are not let's say not a trader like me, you want to stay in the trend throughout the day, or you want to ride the trade, you have to keep a keen eye on positive or negative DI, whichever direction you are in, and you should be sorted. If you want, I'll post this very setup on my timeline. You can compare. I'll whatever we have discussed, I'll mark the levels, mark the exits, and what we have to do. on the chart if it helps you. Yes, I'm done. This is what I had to share.
Okay, great. So it's a small request, sir. Can you take few questions from the traders who are part of the session?
Yeah, no problems, please.
Okay, traders who have question, feel free to just send me a request. I will allow you to speak one by one. Dharmesh, sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Yes, Dharmesh, sir, you can just turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello, sir.
Hi,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening, sir. Actually, I want to ask a question that just you said that you plan the trade. How much time you take the time to plan that trade? Whenever you are take the trade in options buying, how much time you take the time? Within 2 minutes, within 30 second, 1 minute.
No. 2 minutes is going to be a very long time. It has to be done in seconds. Otherwise, the price is not going to stop for me. It will move. I keep posting videos from my streams. I'll post one at night as well. In Nifty or stocks, wherever I'm taking a trade, this calculation, these 4 questions are asked and calculated within 30 seconds. That will come with experience. I've told you these things now. Once you start asking these questions, you're going to take at least a minute in answering all these questions. For me, it takes 30 seconds. Maybe I'm slow or maybe I'm fast. I don't know whom to compare myself with.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Rahul, sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Sankalji, for a very beneficial session. Just my 2 questions on whatever you have spoken about. First is, I've heard people saying that in trading you got to have an edge always. But I'm also trading on this RSI and ADX for some time now. So, do you feel that this system of trading still has got an edge when lots of people know actually what people want to do on VWAP and going as per RSI and ADX? Does this system still hold an edge?
It's a beautiful question, but I don't think you're going to like the answer. The key lies in choosing the right instrument at the right time. Biocon was one of my stocks. See, there are 170 plus FNO symbols available to trade with, right? But not all of them are going to give me a trending move. That's for sure. So I spend a good 1 or 2 hours at night in identifying these stocks that might give me an edge. And once I see them performing, trending on my charts, that's when I decide to take a trade. I understand your question. If I had a dull stock like ITC or a stock like Tata Steel, which was very volatile, right? I couldn't have made money either on the long side or maybe during the day on the short side, but it would have resulted in a no profit no loss sort of a scenario. So the edge that you're talking about will come in the right stock selection.
Okay, got it. Thank you. One more question, if you don't mind, if I can ask.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, my submission is like when we trade on VWAP, and once we take an entry for a trending stock based on VWAP, don't you think we should hold on to the trade till the time the price comes below VWAP, or we should look at other indicators and take our decision?
See, I am an option buyer. I'm an avid option buyer. Option buying is my bread and butter. So I was talking from that perspective. In this trade, if you are a futures trader or a cash trader, there will be a time during the day where you can comfortably trail your SL from the lower band of the VWAP, which was at 359, to the VWAP, which was at 362. You can always do that.
Correct.
Okay, but I cannot wait that long while being a buyer because I'm going to lose the premium that whatever extra money that I could have made, I would lose that part because of the decay part.
Okay. Got it, Sankalji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Akash Agarwal, sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello. Yeah, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are
sir,
audible.
you can go
Good
ahead.
evening.
Good evening, sir. Sir, with reference to the setup that you just discussed, I wanted to know what is the optimum time frame which would be suitable with regard to, sir, the RSI and ADX setup
What
which you
sort of a
just
trader are
mentioned.
you? Are you a swing trader or an intraday trader?
Sir, mostly I do what you mentioned, an option
Intraday.
buyer. I try to catch momentum.
So 5 minutes. I use 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little shorter
Okay.
than this is going to be too dangerous. A little longer than this is going to be too slow. So 5 minutes is
I
the
see.
right mix that I find.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Anand Kumar sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sankalp, sir.
Yeah.
So one question
Good evening.
actually I want to ask. Uh,
Yeah.
just suppose that we are that you are the option buyer, right? As per the CB new
Yeah.
rules, suppose at one stage there is no that you have taken one put for any stocks, okay? At at one label that means there is no any buyer, and you got stuck. You are not able to come out from that stock. Right. In that
Okay.
scenario, how you will handle that? Say we will charge, right, that heavily for that.
I don't follow your question completely, but are we talking about illiquid stocks, illiquid options, or what?
No, at the time of we
No,
have
sir.
entered.
Sankalp,
Yeah, yeah.
just a minute. Recently, there was an issue of this option, the stock, something which during expiry got closed below, become an in the money and it got expired, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the case. That is the case he is asking, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
right, sir.
So that's going to happen in the last week of the expiry, na? Not in the middle of the expiry.
Okay, so in that case, we should select that next
No,
week.
no. Are you an option buyer? I'll come to. I'll answer your question with a bro trip that I follow myself. Are you an options buyer?
No, actually, I'm exploring to the option buyer. I have just tried that.
If you are starting with option buying, or if you are an active options buyer, in the last week of expiry, you should not be holding any options, whether it's a call or a put. Switch to the next expiry. You will not encounter all these sort of errors and all these penalties.
Okay.
In the last week of the expiry, the last Thursday of the month is the expiry day, right?
Yeah, sir. I got it.
Once you are in that week, from that Monday, do not trade in that month's options. Switch to the next month's expiry. The options are going to be a bit expensive. There might be some liquidity issues as well. But if you are left in a state wherein, as you have said, it becomes an ITM option, you will be penalized. And if there's no liquidity, there's a lot of cost that has to be paid.
Yeah, right, sir.
ठीक
Thank
है,
you, sir.
लास्ट वीक में नेक्स्ट मंथ पे शिफ्ट हो जाओ.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And one
With
more
index
last
options, you can keep trading for that week, no problems.
question.
But
Okay.
for stock options, you have to shift to the next expiry.
And one last question, sir. Can I?
Sure, please.
When do you select the stocks for the trading?
You want to know the exact time or the process? Anand?
Sir Anand sir, I think your voice is not audible. Okay. I think he's disconnected. So meanwhile,
I think he wanted to ask. I think he was going towards the process of shortlisting stocks. It's a very long process. A space won't do justice. And I've stopped teaching. So, to give you a very simple pointer, look at today's volume gainers. All right. Volume gainers will give you a list of 10-20 stocks. Open individual charts of those stocks, which on all time frames qualify on these RSI and ADX levels. By qualifying, what I mean, it can be a bullish stock, it can be a bearish stock. We can make money on both sides, right? But they have to be on in a linear trend. They should not be volatile. And once you go through that list of 10-20 stocks, you will be left with a very small list of 4 or 5 stocks which you can keep for the next day. You can keep the charts open, and whichever stock is giving you an opportunity, you can take a trade.
Okay. Kiran sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Sankalp sir. I have questions like.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I'm following your YouTube and I'm trying your methodologies. So I need to know when to trial the option buying, when to trial the stop loss, and I'm booking the profit based on the Fibonacci extension. What you mentioned in your YouTube, I need to know when to trial.
Yeah. When to trail when, let's say, we have taken a bullish trade and the ADX keeps going up. Okay. So it is going with the trend, right? If for a reason it starts coming below, if it starts falling and if it goes below 25, that's the time where you have to be really careful. Either exit or start trailing your SLs very aggressively. Till the time it is trending up, if you are in a bullish trade, ADX is giving you the confidence that, boss, go ahead, I am with you, I'll provide the required strength for the price to go up. During that time you should be comfortable, but if you see it falling and coming below 25, then that's the time to take action.
And sir, one more question.
Yes, please.
For we need to wait for like a 5 minutes candle close or 15 minutes candle close, sir?
You should wait till 9:20 at least.
Not that, sir. Means like we have like based on your Fibonacci extension. So I need to close for the 5 minutes candle or like 15 minutes candle, like any resistance break or anything.
Yeah, you should wait for the candle to close.
Okay.
5-minute candle to close below or above a level.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
My dear friend Asit is also here. If you would be kind enough to add anything to the session. I just saw the screen. He's also here.
For sure, sir. I have invited him. Asit, sir.
He's a bit unwell. I don't know if he's going to speak or not. You invite him. If he's okay, he can talk.
Okay. I have sent him an invitation, sir. If he's ready, yes, he can.
I never knew he's going to be listening to me. Otherwise, मैं बहुत सोच समझ के बोलता. अभी he's going to grill me.
Okay. I think Asit sir has accepted the invitation.
Yes, Uncle. Hi.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good, yeah. Recovering. But yeah, nice session. Very nice. Good to learn few things here and there. So great. So yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Sir, as you are on the session, I think if you are feeling well, anything to point to add on in the trend following, if possible, sir. Just a request.
Yeah, please.
No, I think pretty much covered by Sankalp anyway. But it depends. Like no, आप based upon indicator आप trade करना चाहते हैं या price action देख के trade करना चाहते हैं या options data देख के trade करना चाहते हैं. मेरे हिसाब से whatever Sankalp has covered, if somebody can start reading the options data, that will definitely be quite nice. I'm sure कि अगर options में trade नहीं कर रहे, even if that is the case, still you need to learn the data of options. कि किस strike price में कहाँ पे writing, call writing, put writing हो रहे हैं and how they are evolving. I think that is all that is needed, I guess, in whatever that Sankalp has already covered. Along with that, these are the things that are needed, I guess. And options data do definitely tell us the direction, probable direction, if I may say.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so yeah, that is all I would say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ronak sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Ronak Desai sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
थैंक यू सर. संकल्प सर, आपसे पूछना चाहता था कि हाउ टू फिबोनाची लेवल हम कैसे डाल सकते हैं चार्ट के ऊपर, क्योंकि मैं नया बिगिनर हूँ. काफी बार चार्ट के बारे में सुना है कि फिबोनाची लेवल ऐसे डालते, तो कैसे करते हैं वो एक बार सिखाओगे हमें?
देखो, वो स्पेस पे तो नहीं सिखाया जा सकता रौनक. मैं क्या करूंगा, मेरे YouTube चैनल पे कई सारे वीडियोस हैं उसके, तो मैं अभी उसका कोई ट्वीट डाल दूंगा, आप वो देख सकते हो. उसको उसमें प्रोसेस क्या फॉलो करना है, बट बेसिक आपको आइडिया बता देता हूँ. मेरे हिसाब से अगले दिन का जो पोजिशनिंग होती है ना, सी वी फॉलो व्हाट द स्मार्ट मनी इज डूइंग. एज रिटेलर्स वी हार्डली मेक अ डिफरेंस इन द लाइव मार्केट्स. जो स्मार्ट मनी होती है, जो बड़ा पैसा होता है, वो मार्केट का फ्लो डिसाइड करते हैं. So what I do is, let's say for Biocon's example only, जो लास्ट 1 आवर होगा पिछले दिन का, आज वेडनेसडे है तो ट्यूसडे का जो लास्ट 1 आवर था ना, उसकी बॉडी का जो भी लोएस्ट लेवल आ रहा है उसकी बॉडी को मैं आज के 920 की कैंडल की बॉडी के हाई से जोड़ूंगा. ठीक है. कॉन्सेप्ट वाइज क्या हो रहा है, व्हाट आई बिलीव इज, जो आखिरी का 1 घंटा और जो शुरू के 10 मिनट है ना, उसमें सारा काम हो जाता है. ठीक है. उस काम में हो जाने का मतलब क्या है कि अगर हम कल का लो और आज का हाई ओपनिंग का मिला देते हैं तो वी गेट ट्रेडेबल रेंजेस फॉर द डे. ठीक है. सही है. और इसको करना कैसे प्रैक्टिकली, उसका मैं आपको वीडियो डाल दूंगा. नाउ दिस इज द केस विद अ बुलिश स्टॉक वेयरइन द क्लोजिंग प्राइस ऑन द प्रीवियस डे वाज लोअर देन टुडेज ओपनिंग प्राइस. ठीक है. पिछले दिन 348 पे बंद हुआ था, आज ये 354 पे क्लोज हुआ है. ऐसा सिनेरियो भी हो सकता है कि प्राइस नीचे खुले. ठीक है. कोई न्यूज आ जाए या इंडेक्स इज बेरिश, तो उस टाइम पे मैं लास्ट 1 घंटे के हाई को आज के 920 की कैंडल की बॉडी के लो से जोड़ूंगा. So that will also give me a tradable range to work with on the bearish side.
ठीक है सर. एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन था कि अगर हम नए ट्रेडर है, मान लो कि कोई न्यूज आता है और हम बाई करने के लिए करते हैं, तो जनरली हमें कौन से टाइम के बाद बाई करना चाहिए? यानी कि आप बोल रहे थे कि 920 के बाद ही आप ट्रेड लीजिएगा, ऐसा कोई टाइम होता है नए ट्रेडर के लिए?
अगर आप नए ट्रेडर हो ना, तो न्यूज पे बाय ही मत करो. दैट इज माय फ्रेंडली सजेशन टू यू. बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जब तक आपके पास न्यूज आएगी ना, उस स्टॉक में सारा काम हो चुका होता है. It is commonly said ना, when the Commonwealth starts suggesting a stock, that's the time to exit it, because सारे retailer उस time पे घुसते हैं and that's when the dump starts, right? So don't rely on news for taking a trade. Do your study, create a watch list. रोज उन स्टॉक्स को देखो and when you get an opportunity then take a trade. न्यूज पे ट्रेड करना is nothing but FOMO. कोई न्यूज आई कि भाई किसी को ऑर्डर मिल गया. See, you have to understand one thing. सारी कंपनीज के रिजल्ट्स आते हैं, किन्हीं के खराब आते हैं, किन्हीं के अच्छा आते हैं, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स यू मस्ट हैव सीन इन द लाइव मार्केट्स की प्राइस एक्शन उसके हिसाब से नहीं चल रहा होता है ना? सही है. रिजल्ट बहुत अच्छा आया लेकिन प्राइस तो करेक्ट हो रही है.
सही है सर.
सो इट जस्ट मीन्स दैट योर्स एंड माइन our opinion is irrelevant in the live market. What matters is the price action that's in front of us. So news पे ट्रेड करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
सही है. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू.
You're welcome.
Arun Yadav sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Arun Yadav sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. And one small request, Sankam sir, just let me know when you want to take the last question. Till the time we will continue the session.
Yeah, I'm okay to take questions. That's not a problem.
Okay, no problem.
Hello.
मेरे को तो अभी वैसे भी 3-4 घंटे पढ़ाई करनी है कल के लिए, तो I am okay to take questions.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir. This is Arun.
Good evening, Arun.
Yes, sir. I am actually a part-time trader and investor. I am looking for this 10 following system. Normally, I use the breakout system. I mean, all-time high and from fundamentals. Is there a good strategy to follow this breakout trade?
You are trading in cash stocks, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'm trading in cash. Only cash.
I have the right suggestion for you. On my timeline, there is a pinned video. I did a webinar with Arpit. उसने अपना पूरा प्रोसेस बताया है, how he shortlists, multi baggers, ऐसे stocks जो 30-40% के swing trades में returns देते हैं. Please go through that video. If you have any further question, you can always connect to me or Arpit. His Twitter ID is also tagged in that video.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mohan sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible. Go ahead.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yeah, my question is towards Sankalp. Sankalp, just I am following a basic rule. So, by days, sell day and no trade day. But coming to this general budget once in a year, so for the last 2-3 years, I didn't done any trades due to this general budget days. But sometimes I feel that FOMO feeling.
Yeah.
So, is there any way to cash the particular movements to cash in?
Catch movements where? In cash stocks or in the index or stock specific?
Mohan sir, I think you are got muted. Just
Your voice
unmute.
is also echoing a lot. I'm not following the question, I guess.
Sorry, guys. Is it audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the thing is, I would like to clear that I would like to take a chance, and I would like to cash the particular general budget days. So whether it is, I'm not interested in index, whether it is Bank Nifty or Nifty. So particular stocks. So is there any way to to do with particular stocks regarding this?
I think Kunal was asking this very same question of trading on news by trading during these budget times. You're trading on expectations of a news going right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
You're not audible.
God, I'm sorry. Yeah. When it comes to the news, it is particularly deals with a particular company. But when it comes to general budget, it deals with the complete sector, right? So that's why I would like to take a chance to catch that moment.
Personally, a friendly advice would be not to take a chance. I personally do not trade into events. If a trade is, if an event is going on live during market hours, that's the time I don't trade at all.
Just a minute. Sorry for it. Mohan sir, just mute yourself when Sankal sir is speaking to avoid echo.
Thank you.
So my friendly suggestion to you would be, do not trade into events. Don't trade into news. This is what I practice myself. When an event is underway, I don't take trades because that's the most volatile times. Sometimes it's going to reward, sometimes it's going to punish more than you can expect. It might even wipe off your capital. All right. So instead of dealing with this volatility just because of the stupid need of FOMO, just to be a part of that rally or the traction, if there is strength in that trend, whatever it is, you are going to get a follow through. So I would suggest, it's going to be a friendly advice. Of course, it's your choice at the end of the day. Do not trade into events. Let things settle, and then take trades on whatever your understanding of the event is.
Thank you, Sankal. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Okay. Siddharth sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Siddharth sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Okay, I think he's not responding.
Hi, can I speak?
Yes, I can go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Sankalp. Sankalp, my question is that how to safeguard ourselves, from days like yesterday and today, because I trade only Bank Nifty and I short sell the weekly options only. So I lost almost my week's profit between yesterday and today. Though I knew that strike price which I chose, which was around 37,900, I knew that
you're a seller, right?
I'm a seller, yes.
Yeah, okay. Please go ahead.
So I am seller. I've been trading this since past 7 months, and I've been decently profitable. The profit ranges from 3 to 5% monthly of my capital.
That's nice.
Okay, so but yesterday, between yesterday and today, I lost my week's profit. Okay, and the strike price which I chose was 37,900, because when the market was going up yesterday, I thought that this will the market will definitely expire above 38,000. But then it fell. I thought that just for the news, maybe Sitaram is not going to announce anything. And today again, when market was volatile in the morning, I did not book my loss, and then that loss shot up. And when I booked my 80 rupees option at 240, it came down to it's closed at 89. Okay, and this happens quite a lot with me. But this is the only thing which I'm not able to overcome, and which is not helping me in generating higher profits. This is the reason I only make 3 or 5%, 3 to 5%. That's it.
The answer is really simple. But before I give you the answer, can I ask you two questions?
Yes.
What's your understanding of price action? Do you follow any system?
So I follow Bollinger Band mostly, and 5 minute, 1 hour, and futures on 30 minutes. Bank Nifty.
Okay, so you are making use of the contraction
And
zones.
pivots, yes. Bollinger and pivot. So 5 minute chart is pure pivot, and futures is with Bollinger and pivot. Spot is only.
We option buyers use Bollinger bands to identify blasts.
Right.
Exactly. So I think that's a problem area for me. Secondly, my second question is there a way to predict that today is going to be volatile, or is it going to be dull, or is it going to be a trending day?
No.
Is there a way to find it out?
No, because sometimes for 2 hours the market is completely silent, and after that volatility comes into play, and that's where most of and sometimes I get caught in that. I thought the market is going to be range bound for whole day. I shot 500 points above and below, strangle, and then sometimes I have to incur losses.
Yeah. So in a way, we both of us are similar. I work on the probability where price might go, and you work on a probability where price won't go.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, right.
You make money on that part. I would suggest start using Fibonacci retracements and pay attention to certain percentages, and around those zones, if you see signs of reversals, you can start trailing your SLs. And pay more attention to price action. Whatever system you're following, just work on it.
Okay.
Because I don't understand this thing, because the reason why I'm saying I don't understand this is because I had a brilliant day yesterday, and I had an even better day today. Okay.
So sometimes
So
what happens
I
even on
knew
expiry is when I should buy, I end up selling it. Then I end up losing 100 or 150 points, which is a lot because I don't make that kind of money when I'm in profit. Okay, I hardly make 200 points or 150 points in a week. But sometimes those points go in a jiffy and in one trade only.
Yeah,
So
got it.
I'm not able to overcome those emotions and those kind of trades. So that's the only problem area which I'm facing.
Work on your price action, buddy, and you are dealing with the beast that is Bank Nifty.
Correct.
When I used to teach, the first thing that I used to ask the session or the group was how many Bank Nifty addicts are there in the session. I call them addicts. All right.
I agree.
You are a different breed. I don't trade Bank Nifty. You will find me trading Bank Nifty twice a month only when all my conditions are satisfied. I'm happy with the trend.
Okay.
You are, as it is, dealing with the beast, and that too in volatile times. So the things that you're facing are bound to happen. Try shifting to Nifty. My personal suggestion would be try shifting to Nifty.
Okay.
You will have a better time, selling options.
Okay. Thank you, Sankar. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Bye.
Mehul sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me. So my question to Sankalji, I am option buyer. So mostly I follow the data, options data as well as the delta and IV of particular stock and index. So
Yeah.
just want to reconfirm. I am is above 40 delta is good. Like you earlier said that 95 is a top line. After that, that options will not move mostly. So
Yeah,
between
45.45, 40, not 40, 45 and above is okay.
40, 45 to mostly 75, 80 or something like that is still okay.
Yeah.
And the IV part, like maximum times what happened, like IV is around 40, 45 or something like that. And if the price is consolidated around 1 hour, 1.5 hour, then obviously the premium decay will start. So is the best IV is like something around 25 or something, 20, 25 is the best for option buyers?
To tell you honestly, I don't look at IV. My whole energy is devoted into charts and how whatever the price is doing. So maybe I'm not the right person to ask this question, but anything around 25 is fine.
Okay. No problem. Thank you. I follow you since long, and yeah, thank you for
Thank you
always.
so much for bearing me for so long. Thank you.
I always learn something new from your side also. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lalit sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello.
Hi Lalit, good
Hello,
evening.
Sankalp sir. Lalit here from very
Hi.
close to your area. Not close to your area. Yeah, cool, sir. I'm from Jaipur. Sankalp sir, I just wanted to understand Fibonacci retracement. If you have any basic, YouTube, someone explaining Fibonacci, because I've been doing cash trades and fairly doing good. I, learn from Vivek Bajaj sir, his RS model and all. So I am following that from past 6-8 months and doing fairly good. Able to understand the trades. I get the very good and hold on to them for a long time. So just wanted to add on to my trading setup. Fibonacci. If you can guide me to someone who's good.
So yeah. I'll guide you to myself only. I'll as I was answering someone's question a while back, I would leave a link to a video wherein I explain on how I look at price and how I plot my Fibonacci retracements for the day. You can have a look at it, and if you're not satisfied with it, I'll find some material to give to you.
That would be great. If you can please, send it over that video link. That would be great.
I'll post it on my timeline.
Perfect. Thank you so very much, Sankalp sir. Thanks a lot.
You're most
bye.
welcome.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
By the Twitter handle name We Trade, that is Vikas sir. I think just turn on your mic and you can ask your questions, sir. I've allowed you to speak.
Yeah. Hi, Sankalp bhai. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Myself, Vikas, and I just want to ask you: are you a pure option buyer, or you do option selling also?
Sir, I don't have the money to sell options. I'm a very small trader.
That
I just buy options.
that cannot be the case. Well,
you don't know my background, so I don't know what to respond. But I don't have the money to sell options, sir. And I'm speaking it with no disrespect to sellers. People make good money. I actually don't want to waste my time and my skill on selling. I can make much more through option buying. Of course, there are days where buyers just don't make any money. They are very dull. So we just call it a day. And
that case is not
fact of
there.
the
Both
matter is
option buyer and option seller both are making money. It's a
good
different
money.
kind of mindset is required in doing both the things. I can understand that. But my question is like, do you trade on the pledged capital or you keep cash in your broker account?
Cash.
Only cash. So how do you tackle with that? Okay, but as you said that you require less capital, so that quarterly settlement which they do may not affect you, may not be affecting you.
It doesn't affect me. I keep multiple accounts, and as it is, if I keep a capital of 5 lakhs in my account, to the max, I'm going to deploy to the most 2.5 3 lakhs. I still have idle cash in the system for new
For
trades.
the emergency.
Yeah.
Okay. Right then. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Amit Raina sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Amit sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hi, Sankalp. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thanks for the opportunity. Actually, I'm a beginner doing since last 1 year. I'm trying to understand since you said one basic thing to check for any stock movement is to check the previous day's volume movement, right?
We're talking of the stock selection
I'm talking
part?
about stock.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Since my question is actually basic, if I see this volumes of अगर stocks में क्या हो रहा है, then I can see, but then मतलब मैं देखता हूँ कि जैसे bulk and block deals में देखता हूँ मैं, तो उसमें same एक entity होती है, वो purchase भी करती है, sell भी करती है.
Sir, when I meant volume gainers, I did not mean ये bulk deals वाले.
Sir, फिर उसमें कौन सा देखना होता है? मतलब how can
Normal volume gainers जो होते हैं दिन के, you can see it on the NSE website, or you can उसको filter out कर लो most trending stocks, trending और volume gainers.
NSE की साइट पे ही?
हाँ, साइट पे, मनी कंट्रोल पे, हर जगह दिखता है.
ठीक है.
Today's top gainers, losers, इस वाली लिस्ट में कहीं
अच्छा,
पे मिलेगा.
ब्लॉक डील्स इनसाइड इनको कुछ नहीं देखना होता है?
नहीं, I don't pay attention to block deal. Block deal में तो कुछ और ही गेम हो रहा होता है, वो
वही
क्या
बहुत
निकलेगा
कंफ्यूज
बाद
होता है
में
उसमें,
समझ
क्योंकि
में नहीं
एक सेम सेल हो रहा परचेज
आता.
होता है तो उसमें बड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग रहता है.
See, Amit ji, all I need is a trending stock. I am least bothered if it's going to go up or down. I'll take a trade, based on whatever the price action is telling me. I just need a trending stock. A stock in which if I take a trade, it'll give me some follow-through movement. Right? That is my only objective while shortlisting a stock.
ठीक है. थैंक यू सो मच. गुड नाइट. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rohan Rao sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Sakal sir. I first of all, I would like
Good
to say,
evening.
I have been following your Stable Folks work, and it is phenomenal. And it is quite good to see how your system is performing. So kudos on that. So I have
Thank you so much.
two set of questions. Since you're so much into technicals, have you ever given any thought to order flow analysis, volume spread analysis, and all those things?
I've
Because
spent a good amount of time on market profiling and order flow. I actually gained nothing out of it. Came back to my price action.
yeah, I have seen some people they even produce good results by using those tools. They say that I've even seen it working. It helps a lot to gauge momentum in the market, how much a particular stock can fire up and where it a particular reversal levels are there. So yeah, so I just wanted
See,
your
order
thought on
flow
that.
and market profile are going to give you excellent information if you have that knack of reading that information, like all these auction zones, wherein they make or break the trend. They can give you excellent insights, but as I said, my experience with the market profile and order flow analysis wasn't that satisfying. I can do it pretty easily by just looking at the chart. Maybe I didn't want to work harder. I gave
Okay, sir.
4 or 5 months to it. Yes, I personally know some of my students who make good money by just making use of a mix of price action and mostly from market profile and order flow. So it does work, yeah.
So my just another question, final
Sankalp
question.
sir, just a minute. Sankalp sir, if you don't mind, can I put an add-on on market profile and order, because I have been using it for many years.
Yeah, please add.
Yes, when it comes to this one thing which I personally working out for me on market profile and order flow is, it's not like looking every time market profile at every location. The comfort zone where there is more buyers are giving an interest, the zones in which buyers are giving an interest to push the price up. At that juncture, if we are combining market profile and order flow by understanding the imbalanced behavior of the buyers and sellers, at that zone, it can give a best risk reward kind of a, not a best, a better, bigger risk
A better
reward
understanding
kind
of the whole schema, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. You are attacking demand and supply directly, na?
Yes.
So you are gaining some insights on where the buyers are sitting, where people are ready with their auctions or with their orders. So that is giving you clear-cut, X-ray of the market. Yes, it does work. In my case, I'm more comfortable with charts. I'm a slave to charts. So maybe it's because of my biasness that I didn't spend much time with in learning those things.
Yes, Rohan sir, you can go ahead with your one more question.
Okay, thank you so for that. It's like a cherry on the cake, like you helping us out. Okay, so sir, just final question. So as you say that you are a buyer and you normally do index, there's a particular time frame I have observed since past few months. I'm a novice at this point of time. So from 9:15 to 11 or 11:30, the momentum is quite good until 1 or 1:30 per se. The momentum kind of dies down and there isn't much action happening in the index. And post 1:30, the momentum starts coming in. So in forex, we normally use this term kill zone, the US Open, the London Open, and all. So, like, is there a particular thumb rule that you pro guys use for option buying in the index, that you follow a particular time frame for doing your buying in the index?
First of all, I think you are keeping me with a very high opinion. I am also a learner. I am not an expert, not a pro. All right. While answering someone's question, I told that the best time to trade. If I'm not told this, I'm telling it now. The best time to make money in option buying is between 9:20 to 11 o'clock. Post 11 o'clock till 2 p.m. is a dead zone. Based on news, if some stock is moving, okay. Otherwise, you're not going to make much money. There might be, a consolidation zone, or worst, is going to be a very volatile session. In both the cases, I'm not going to make money. So I'm on stream throughout the day with my members, and that's the time where we actually take a break between 11 to 2, and we take our trades from 9:15 to 11, and then take a break and then resume at 2. So the thumb rule would be to just avoid this 11 to 1:30 or 2 kind of zone.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And again, all thanks to the host for letting me speak. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Prashant sir, I've allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Yes, thanks, host. Hi,
Thank you.
Sankalp. This is Prashant here from
Hi, good
Oslo,
evening.
Norway. Hi, good
Hi.
evening. So I'm a kind of a follower of your handle. So my question is like it's not on the charts or indicators, right? It's more on the psychology.
Yeah.
How you control your greediness. So what I understood from your profile is that like you from last 4 or 5 years you are like a full-time trader, right? And
Yeah.
then you kind of dependent, and your family is dependent on your like
Yeah.
earning, right? So you need to have a solid psychology. How you like what is your framework for that?
Sir, when I began, I didn't have much to work with. I was in a government job, and because of some health issues, I had to quit my job and start over. All right, I was not in a condition to even stand up properly. So, for me, it was really necessary to get into some kind of work which allows me to work from home because of the health condition at that time. Now I'm fit and fine, but at that time when I started, that trading was the only option that I had. Coming to the psychology part, yes, I made all the possible mistakes. I don't have a mentor in the market, and I keep telling everyone that whatever I've learned is through my own mistakes or through my students or the people who make who interact with me from their mistakes. So I have a checklist of what not to do. So whilst doing a process, if you already know what not to do, I think you are already 60-70% ahead in the learning curve, right? I'll give you a very small answer right now, and I'll link again. I'll link a video of mine on trading psychology, wherein I address this question in a very elaborate manner. Whenever you have time, you can go through that video.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Great. Thanks. Thanks again, host, for allowing
Thank
me.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a nice day, Sankalp.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, just a small note, traders who are part of the session. So thank you so much for staying connected in the session. We will address, sir. We can address few more questions, right?
That's up to you.
No, no. As per your comfort, sir. And now for me, I can stay wait till
No, I am
11,
comfortable
11:30
in
also.
all conditions. I am comfortable even losses. So this is a good place to be at.
Okay. For sure, we can continue. For just a small note to the traders who are part of the session, you traders can follow us on Twitter and stay connected with us. Meanwhile, I will allow Sachin sir. I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
हेलो
या
सर, स्कैल्पिंग के ऊपर को बताइए।
बताइए क्या जानना है आपको?
मतलब हाउ टू डू स्कैल्पिंग एंड इसके अंदर कौन सा इंडिकेटर काम करेगा, किस टाइम फ्रेम पे?
What's your understanding of scalping? Scalping क्या होता है?
मतलब आपकी ट्रेड ज्यादा 1 मिनट के अंदर हो जानी चाहिए खत्म।
1 मिनट में?
1 मिनट ज्यादा 3 मिनट्स मतलब
देखो, that is a very dangerous time frame that we are referring to. तो स्कैल्पिंग में बेसिकली पीपल कॉल मी आल्सो अ स्कैल्पर बिकॉज मेरे लिए 40-50 पॉइंट निफ्टी के ऑप्शन में इज अ गुड डे बिकॉज आई कैन प्ले विद द क्वांटिटीज 40-50 पॉइंट में इफ आई एम देयर विद 500 और 1000 क्वांटिटीज इट गिव्स मी अ डिसेंट अमाउंट राइट. सो स्कैल्पिंग की कोई एज सच डेफिनेशन नहीं है. स्कैल्पर इज आल्सो अ ट्रेडर बट वर्किंग फॉर अ स्मॉलर टाइम फ्रेम. छोटे टाइम फ्रेम में हम काम कर रहे हैं. अ फ्रेंडली एडवाइस टू यू, don't get into this 1 minute 3 minute wali trades.
Okay.
Spend at least 20 minutes. Aim to spend at least 20 minutes with a trade because 1-2 minute में it's not necessary. We are humans and we are dealing with a field which is driven by probabilities and not certainties. अगर मेरे को पता होता कि कल अपोलो हॉस्पिटल, आई एम गिविंग यू एन एग्जांपल फॉर ट्रेड आई टुक, कि अपोलो हॉस्पिटल 8% टूटेगा, तो मेरी जितनी जमीन जायदाद मेरी किडनी सब मैं गिरवी रख के सारी चीज अपोलो हॉस्पिटल शॉर्ट करता, 2 मिनट में मुझे प्रॉफिट मिलता और तीसरे मिनट में जाके मैं अपना एक जजीरा खरीद लेता. ट्रेडिंग ऐसे होती नहीं है. यू आर डीलिंग विद प्रोबेबिलिटी, सो एटलीस्ट स्पेंड 20-25 मिनट्स इन अ ट्रेड.
सर
ठीक है
सर, एक बात और पूछनी थी. आपने जैसे अभी कहा है कि आप 9:20 to 11 AM तक ट्रेड होती है आपकी, ठीक है, मॉर्निंग में. क्या मतलब कि एक्सपायरी पे भी आप ऐसे ही क्या करते हो, एक्सपायरी डे पे?
सर मेरे लिए कोई एक्सपायरी डे की कोई ऐसी स्पेशलिटी नहीं है बिकॉज मैं थीटा डीके के ऊपर प्ले नहीं करता हूँ.
हाँ, वही
एंड मोस्टली हम लोग 11 बजे तक फ्री हो जाते हैं. फिर भी कोई ट्रेड मिलती है ट्रेंडिंग, तो एक्सपायरी के दिन, लेट्स से कल एक्सपायरी है, तो कल मैं 11 बजे तक कल के ही वीकली निफ्टी के ऑप्शंस में काम करूंगा. और 11 बजे के बाद आई विल स्विच टू द नेक्स्ट वीक.
ओके.
अगर मुझे कोई ट्रेड लेनी है तो मैं वो ले लेता हूँ.
ठीक.
ठीक है.
नहीं एक्चुअली क्या है ना सर कि 11-12 बजे के बाद थोड़ा सा अगर इन द मनी का ऑप्शन होता है तो ना तो मतलब उसके अंदर तो थीटा होता ही नहीं है ना, थोड़ा सा अगर दूर का होता है तो, है ना सर?
देखो डीके तो आएगी, थोड़ी डीके तो सब
नहीं,
में
थोड़ा
आएगी.
होता है उसके अंदर 5 या 10 पॉइंट का होता है सिर्फ थीटा ना. तो सर तो सर उसके ऊपर प्ले आउट हो सकता है.
आप उससे अच्छा नेक्स्ट वीक पे शिफ्ट हो जाओ ना, वो बेटर रहेगा. वहां पे ये वाले डेंजर ही नहीं रहेगा.
नहीं सर, उसके अंदर तो क्या होता है ना, फिर उसके अंदर तो होता है ना थोड़ा बहुत थीटा तो होता है.
नेक्स्ट वीक के ऑप्शन
हाँ
में
जी.
डीके देखो, ऑप्शन की बेसिक नेचर ही है कि दे आर वेस्टिंग एसेट्स, तो डीके तो सब में होगा, लेकिन एज कंपेयर टू दैट डेज एक्सपायरी नेक्स्ट वीक वाले में कम होएगा. दैट इज व्हाट आई एम सजेस्टिंग.
ओके. ठीक है सर. ओके, थैंक यू.
Okay. Thank you. Kunal sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Kunal sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question. Okay, I think he's not responding. Nikhil Kapoor sir, I have allowed you to speak. You can turn on your mic and you can ask your question.
Hi, can you hear me, Sankalp?
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for your time. I know probably I'm one of the guy who probably does not know anything about the stock market because I recently joined this, and I've always been very fascinated about how it actually happens when the entire world is moving around it, which makes me believe that okay, you can really make money. But unfortunately, to my obviously, it's really not easy to make money. We've all had this anticipation that we're going to end up making crores, but reality is that you end up losing a lot of money initially. My issue is right now, I have been reading a lot of books, YouTube videos, free, of course, and then a lot of other editorial publishers and everything. But I really cannot pinpoint, and I know there is no certain indicator which can tell me what exactly is the trend going to be, because it all depends on the emotions, people, and people are always unpredictable. So we really cannot.
Hello. Am I audible?
Nikhil sir, I think your
Hmm,
voice
hmm,
is
hmm, hmm.
not audible. Okay, I think he has lost his connection if I'm not wrong. Okay. So Sankalp sir, it is I think 10:30. So by year, if you permit, we will wind up this session.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
And
fine.
a small request. I don't know whether I'm asking it in this space, it is correct or not. If future, please allow us to be as a host for yet another Twitter space in future.
Yeah. I told you yes on the very first go.
Yes, yes. Okay.
And a big thank you to the people who invested their precious time at night, 1.5 hours, to whatever I had to share. I hope with this investment you make some profits. So that's it from my end. Please take care and always respect risk. Good night. Yeah, you are audible.
Space multiple time got crashed. So because of the time
Hmm.
limit, so we will wind up this session here. And thank you so much, Sankalp sir, for accepting the invitation and being part of the session
You're most
for
welcome. You're
almost
most welcome.
1.5 hours. So traders, yes, we will come back again with yet another learning, knowledgeable Twitter space in upcoming days with Sankalp sir and with other traders also. So stay connected with us on Twitter. Thank you so much for being part of the space. So